If it's not high, they don't get back in this game.
Zach Dawson's been subbed out, boys.
Yep, thanks, Jacko. So the last quarter begins here at Patersons Stadium. Who has got what is required? Who can dig the deepest, I guess? Will it be Richmond or will it be Fremantle? Cochin gives Richmond the first opportunity at least, although it's a fairly wide one, and Spurs there to escort it over.
A little high tackle by Sandilands on tuck at the centre bounce. The first contest after the fall of the ball.
There's Sandilands again. Jackson gets help from Nahas. Onto that left boot of Grigg. A wobbly one for Revolt to try and read. McFarlane there with him every step of the way.
That's a free kick last Friday.
They rolled the dice with Tuck, as in trying now to get clearance work from him, which he's so good at. He's now inside this 50-metre arc, which means he might be playing that loose man in defence.
Fife. Can I get out of the clutches of the Richmond's forwards that are just so eager to get the ball onto the boot if they can.
That's like rugby.
That is.
It was still in play and the ball was moving at about half a mile per hour, kilometre per hour. Just one way. Tuck's sitting off the pack. He's not a clearance player. Sitting out the back. I don't know if he's the one you want to be taking the shot if it squeezes out.
I'm with you.
Mundy kicks to the wing. The Tigers couldn't quite synchronise. They've lost another soldier by the look of it. The ball goes to the line. It's big post. He's getting up. They've won the footy back. Now Tuck could kick the ball deep. This is where he can cause problems. Puts the pressure on the Fremantle defence. Johnson, that's a wonderful tumbling, saving mark on the last line. So Subin into play. He's out here on this side demanding the footy. Instead it goes shorter than that to Duffield. What do you think of that decision, Subin, on for Zach?
Well, I like Subin into the play. It was either Johnson or Zach Dawson. They didn't need another tall one down in the back line. So Subin's a very good kicker on the left foot.
Fantastic play by Pavlich, breaking the pain barrier, hunted down by Marriage, sits it up deep for Ballantyne. De Boer there waiting for the spoils. It still needs to come out for Fremantle. He's almost hatched it. Now they'll be happy to lock it in. The umpire says, I'll bounce.
I have to say that. The chase by Ivan Marriage.
Great, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you also got a good look with the full windblown mullet just chasing down the wing. It was magnificent. Have a look at that.
But it's about intensity and the want to do it. I thought that was just brilliant.
Pavlich was sore then. He was terrific also. Mundy giving the round to the kitchen. They have to be careful. Nahas had their head down. They're over him. Umpire maybe just a little over eagle.
I think the Johnson-Zach Dawson decision is made that easy. One can kick and the other's not great. You'd have Johnson every time, as in just disposal out of defence.
All right, so they bunch up 40 out from goal. Cochin was able to get it into safe hands to post. Looking for some further insurance, Alice. Oh, is that cut? Oh, it's paid a mark.
That's gone 6 metres.
Yeah, that's very generous of the umpire, it's fair to say.
Well, I might just respond to that. I reckon Zach's not a bad kick, actually.
No, in creative kicking when you're going forward.
Unfortunately, Morris's kick doesn't clear the man in front.
I wear that because he's actually one of the best set shot kicks you've seen. Beautiful kick, but from a set shot. Comes from his junior days.
But look behind play, and Cochin, boys, look down. He looked like he's run himself nearly into the ground, which isn't a great sign for the Tigers.
Sandilands, Ballantyne, Subin, the extra spring in the step almost created a goal there, but not quite. 21 points.
This is the interesting one now. Oh, yeah, you played that for the distance. 14.
I'd like to be buying real estate off you.
Yeah, I'm generous. Hey, this will really tell how the Tigers are going to go. They're going to come to this side. They'll get numbers. It's a 2-on-2.
Fife went at just the right time.
Balance.
And he gets the releasing handball to Duffield. Sets it up. Pavlich comes storming through. Couldn't take it. Away goes Barlow. It was good play, though, by Fremantle. Bradley, De Boer, Subin, wheels onto the left. Look who was in his sights. Ballantyne takes the mark. And he can go back and surely deliver a big blow here as far as Fremantle are concerned.
Just nice little deft touch by Subin onto the correct side for him, a left footer. And even in games like this, high pressure, you adjust to your opponents. A fresh man on, you see him, you haven't seen him earlier in game. So you wonder whether you're going to press him on the left-hand side. They will next time.
So Hayden Ballantyne from 30 out, probability on his side, delivers the goal coolly and calmly.
I think that the one thing about Hayden Ballantyne's game today, and I've been wrecked, I reckon he's put his body on the line a number of times. He's now up to 21 possessions. He's kicked his 3 games. But it just shows when he concentrates on playing the game, he doesn't need to do that irritating, annoying stuff. Because what I think it does, emotionally, it can get the opposition into the game more than what it does get him into the game. Today he's been, controlled.
He's had a little bit of niggle about it.
No, but not like normal. You know what
he's
had. Just like the way he's gone about it today.
Can't afford to drop their bundle here, Richmond. They're right in this. Only a few possessions in this final quarter so far. 16 to 13, 7 to 9 in uncontested possession. Same with contested possession. So it's all even there. A goal down in the last quarter on this quarter score. Got to keep persisting.
Can't afford to make mistakes, the Richmond defence now. And Rance was well aware. Drives to the wing. McPhee couldn't quite. And that allows White to use his assets, his pace. He is burning it up. Scorching through half forward with 3 bounces. Can think about the glory of the goal. And there it is. What a kick from White. Fantastic running. That's guts and determination. And wonderful pace and skills.
Dare to win, Hutto.
Yeah.
Dare to win.
Don't think, do, sorry.
But that many players after a run of 90 metres, knowing that you're the rabbit, the lure, and the dogs are chasing you down, the fatigue just as you kick at it. Just see so many shots at goal go astray. Really good composure. You watch these last few steps. Gather, settle. Just really good composure.
Outstanding goal from Matt White. And Richmond can believe again. 21 points is the obstacle. Importantly, as Derm said, they had to respond quickly. It's Fremantle threatening, and this big man has controlled so much out of the middle. What a player to come back in at this time of the year. Walters was zigging and zagging, tackled high. Advantage paid. Barlow took the initiative, and now Pavlich will line them up.
Great awareness by Barlow then. Just to understand the situation of the game, they would have had a shot at goal from outside 50, get the advantage, get the opportunity to play on, take it, and then hit the target.
And what it didn't allow was Richmond to set up numbers back, Shorey, by that play on.
So Matthew Pavlich, 2 goals, 3 for the afternoon. He's kicked some clutch goals already this year. Not that this is in that situation, but just needs to go back, slotted through, and take Fremantle back out to that 27-point gap. He's done enough. It's there. Fremantle have got the answers at the moment.
Ivan Maric looks like he wants to get to the bench here. He needs a breather. Trent Cotson will come onto the ground, so that puts McGuan into the ruck. As Kepler-Bradley steps in there, so McGuan will be a half chance. There's Matty Pavlich with his haul today. He's got himself a further 3 goals, 3, sets him on 60. Revolt on 56 with his 2 today. Hawkins, Petrie, Franklin.
So he's had to overcome a few physical obstacles today, Matthew Pavlich, but he's kicked 3-3. Fremantle back to 27, and once again the gauntlet laid down to the Tigers. They need to respond. Main, that could well have been holding the ball and throwing the ball.
Now, Jack Revolt's got to get a separation here. He's kicked it over his head.
Farland misjudged the flight. Crowley there to lend assistance. Wobbly handball, Mzungu. McFarlane trying to get it back to safety, but it wasn't really. Johnson, McFarlane.
They did well.
They did, and the kick is absolutely perfect for Fife, who drives. That's going to be downfield.
Well, that's that. Well, maybe lack of discipline. McGuan just tackling him and slinging him to the ground after. Can he afford to do that in a game when you're trying to get back into it quickly?
Pavlich. hoping for Main from behind. Hooley, they set it up again. Tuck. Ballantyne, he's been very mature today, just to back up your point early, Shorey.
Yep.
McGuan misses a crucial target. Ibbotson adapted. There he is again, Ballantyne. He's hurt himself as it's out in the full.
He cramped, I think.
He'll be limping off looking for a bit of help.
With that Pavlich kick, he kicked down the line. McGuan is actually the opposition ruckman at the moment. Kepler Bradley was in at centre half forward, floating down the spine, outnumbering their opponents there, yet he opted for the safe kick.
They all try and jump over big Sandilands. Post got it to Edwards. They go in haste. They have to try a few things on here, the Tigers. Unfortunately, they're not all going to come off. Mzungu,
They spread.
can share it with Spur, and they're off again. De Boer comes up to the footy. Sandilands is still there for him if he wants to go the other way. Instead, he settles on Johnson. It was a little untidy, but maybe no damage done. Not yet, anyway. Crowley forced to give it up by hand. They had the next man off the line, De Boer. So, again, it was a bit scrappy, but they've got to the destination, and that destination is full forward. Walters goes up and takes the mark. They've got what they need at the moment, Fremantle.
You know, it really was, you could see the fatigue starting to set into the Richmond team. When they ran and spread, was it Spur who ran out to the other side of the wing, and there was a shabby kick he made then? But just that little bit of play there, they got to spread. 3 of them ran out to the wing, 3 Dockers, no Richmond player chased them. I'm sure that's fatigue, thinking, well, we'll run to the back line, take the direct route to cut this goal off. That's a shabby kick.
It is. 3 last week, just the 1 so far today. Michael Walters down to Jacko.
Yeah, Matthew Pavlich, you can see there getting some work done. All the medical staff working overtime down here. They're just starting to cramp up. So you'll see the game starting to open up a little bit more now, boys.
He'll end up with bruising in that. Just from the massage.
Rance comes to try and leap over the top, but Fife showing his aerial skills. And some options open up for him quickly. And that was a very good kick.
How good was that? He was going to go in the corridor, but it was blocked off. So in another step outside the corridor, he finds Clancy Pearce.
This boy can kick it.
Duffield's coming off too, boys. Looks like he might be cramping up.
He's a chance to clear the fence, and it's a long way back behind the goals here. And your kick from the planted foot will be outside 50, you would think.
Here's Pearce. He'll line himself just out to the right. The kick's going to swing back. It's a behind.
I think if he came over here today and said Richmond are going to win this game, he probably needed Jack Riewoldt to kick 5. Nahas, King's done his job with his 3, and he looks like, I don't think has he been back on, boys? He looks pretty sore, but Nahas has only kicked 1 goal. They just haven't had the forward options to stretch the defence of Fremantle.
But just like that Dustin Martin last bomb inside, great, get it going quickly when you're under pressure. But Jack Riewoldt did McFarlane on the lead. That's another one that misses the target. Did McFarlane on the lead and wasn't on it.
Over the top.
Now, he'd have marked that 45 out. He'd have set shot from 52, 53, downhill that end. He'd have got the distance. Would he have got the accuracy? That's the toss-up, but you've got to honour those leads sometimes.
Good tackling there from the Tigers, just to hold Fremantle at bay. They looked like they were going to be able to control the footy. The umpire gets as frustrated as everyone there and decides to call for the bounce.
Another issue too, if you don't honour that when it's on, you've only gone in 37 times, which again shows Fremantle's strangulation. 37 times a game of footy. You're not going to score heavily normally unless you're totally efficient.
Crowley to Main.
It's all played in their half.
An important cog, isn't he? Doesn't really help Bradley's situation there with the disposal. Post straight for the boundary. You know what the crowd will call for, but it's been paid.
Now that umpire is totally wrong there, because the only thing he could do was go down the line with the handball and hope it stayed in. How can the umpire know how that ball was going to be out? He did everything right. I don't know. I'd love to see what they think about that, but he went up the line, pressure on him as close to the boundary line as you get.
Can he kick it?
It's Kepler. Of course he can.
These are the ones he can kick.
Yeah. So Bradley to have the shot. The margin 29. Is it just about finished the Tigers off?
It's across the face.
And it's a behind.
I'd like to have a look at it again, because I don't know what a defender can do other than get tackled and walk over the line anyway. So if he walks over the line, he's gone. He's tried to keep it. Now, that bounce, you cannot...
Just had a look at it then. Yeah.
You cannot say how that ball's going to bounce. If that keeps going on the boundary line, everything's perfect.
The thing is, if he handballs directly in front of him, it's deliberate.
Yeah.
Anywhere else on the ground, you get tackled in that scenario and you handball directly in front of you to get rid of the ball and not be caught with it. It's, you know, it's play on, no problem.
Mundy to Walters. Oh, great run down. Had to be rewarded and was.
No right foot Walters.
Little handball from Edwards off to Martin. Again, ambitious kick. That's a beauty though. Right to the middle to Nahas. Has to deal with what's ahead, so decides to go wide. Hard running from White to try and receive here. We know he's capable. He's got Goliath running after him here, so he should be able to have him covered. Oh, he fell over. Gets back up.
Did well. Oh,
did. Got through a lot though, didn't
Pulled out of it.
Marriage through to Delidio. Crowley was never going to be far away when Delidio was there. McPhee, there's some tired bodies out there now. This is hard going in the heat. Fife, lumbering kick, and Barlow, full of pluck and courage, takes the mark.
Like Barlow's game today, this is coming up for possession number 20, operating at 85% efficiency.
Which is really high for him.
Yeah,
it's a really good result for him.
He normally gets a little bit more of the ball, but can be prone to turning it over.
Subin bombs away at half forward for Fremantle. Main brilliant to Walters. He's kicked one from here already today. Wants to improve the odds. Gives it to Kepler Bradley. Crowd on their feet, and Kepler says thank you very much. Thanks for coming, Richmond. Game over. Back to the deliberate, and Bradley gave a bit of a mouthful. Huge mouthful.
The umpire pointed at him and said, take a kick, shut up. This was clever. Well done by Walters. He owed them one after not finding his right foot before Kepler Bradley. But if you measured that out, that's close to 15.
Yes, he ran his full lot of distance there, didn't he, Kepler?
Sure did, yeah. But you couldn't go in that one. Well, now don't get too high over the shoulder, otherwise it's a free kick. You do a jumper punch.
We've seen them paid
on
really.
the neck.
They're going to be fair dinkum, the umpires.
And watch out, the emergency umpires coming out, Hutto.
And he'll be looking to stamp his authority on it.
How often have we seen that paid though?
Yeah, it does. So you just can't do it.
Marriage drives it deep. Revolt couldn't get to the contest. Ibbotson can.
He's had a very good second half, Ibbotson.
McFarlane, as they sort things out through Duffield. 8 minutes 30, so still a long time to go.
They're finding options though now. They can even go back out the other side if they want.
He does, good call there.
For Ibbotson.
They're getting a lot of space. The fatigue element now is in the brains of Richmond also. I reckon Richmond have done super here. I know Tigers, their coaching staff, they're faithful, the supporters will say we're sick of honourable losses. I really thought at one stage today they were going to get blown away, and they've hung in. They're down by 36, but they still might even claw back one or two here. Yeah, don't be happy with a loss, but they have a go for you, Tigers.
That wasn't a great kick. Tuck takes the mark.
That's...
Just sets it up. Marriage, there's going to be a good chance here. But it's all hands on deck for Freo. McGuan can slide in. Oh!
What was that?
Did he miss that?
I've got a feeling we might see a replay of Percy Jones during the week.
And Malcolm Blight running into the open goal at the open points.
I think he's dropped that on the foot. Yeah. When he was lifting his other foot to kick, he dropped it on the foot that doesn't come up.
He released it too early and he kicked it with the wrong foot.
That's what I mean.
Out of his hands.
He dropped it on the wrong stride, as in when you want to drop the ball down with your foot.
Luke McGuan, that's 2 goals gone begging at that end. Open goals.
Oh, McGuan.
You've done it again. We were speechless after that. Well, there's a 6-metre kick. And another one coming up.
To Pearce.
Yeah, they can just throw darts now. That was their chance to just feel good, get a bit of excitement, roll in on it.
Oh, there's another chance.
It's had to go wide this last quarter.
Cochin, he'll craft something, you suspect here.
Oh, no. Take the set shot.
No, switch it. There's another player on 20 metres. Go close to the goal.
Pass
on
it.
his
Pass it
right-hand
backwards.
side.
Give him a chance to take a set shot. He's a good, solid, long kick.
Get behind him. Get behind him,
Let's
Derb.
back him in.
Come on.
He's a bit shabby by foot normally, but we've got our fingers
But he
crossed
had a
for him.
Richmond player on who didn't take up his own space. He would have been 25 out.
He's a bit scared of his skill set at the moment. He's pulled it a bit, but it's a good strike. Hasn't kicked a lot of goals in his career, Luke McGuan.
Had kicked 11, though, in a good little run of...
Yeah, he's done all right. He's done all right as that. Oh, look, where are you going to play? You don't think he's going to be a forward for the rest of his career. That's the issue. But he's makeshift. He's done a good job.
You're right. Makeshift is the right word. Mark is taken by Kepler Bradley.
For a little while there in the third quarter, I thought they might have put McGuan to the back line, and Post could have been that forward player,
body.
and because Post has a phenomenal jumps over the top of Sandilands as we speak, and he could have been that second string ruckman against Kepler Bradley. But I mean, they know their players better than us. They're using Post on,
I suppose, which didn't help that.
Yeah, they're using Post on Sandilands now. Post is 195, Sandilands 2 metres and plenty.
Hill through the maze, back to Mzungu. High ball for Ballantyne, not comfortable position for him, but gee, did well. Wanted the footy, demanded it. Here's Bradley, snookered. He's always interesting. Something's always happening when Kepler's around. Here's Subin, he can break clear. Could have given to Mzungu, instead sends it deep to Big Sandilands. And Pavlich might help himself to his fourth. No, back to De Boer. Man in the right spot, Mzungu. Butchers the left foot.
You see Delidio strike on the left foot in the third quarter in that scenario. It's purposeful, it's execution style. Zungu is a really good running type player, but he doesn't have the confidence to hit that kick across the body with power.
It's not quite. Creek getting into safe hands. King ducked the head at the good moment and deserved the free under the circumstances. Grigg still trying his heart out. Gives Revolt a one-on-one opportunity, which he'll appreciate. McFarlane's been a terrific defender all year, though. Goes to work with the assistance of McPhee.
Talk about Jack in the seconds. That thing I've noticed in the second half with him after when the next stoppage in play.
Ballantyne almost won another one-on-one. McGuan happy to handball. Cooley low into the 50. Revolt presenting, and McFarlane found a way to get the fist in. Crowley tried to get it out of bounds. Had to go and go again. It opened up for Revolt, who was trying to find his teammate, but just didn't fall for him. Ibbotson from the stand start. Out for Kepler Bradley. They're stolen the march here. If he looks up, he's got Hill. He's got options through the middle.
He's going to get De Boer on the next if he accepts.
Quite completed. Comes out the side. This is Dustin Martin. Another probing ball, and McPhee had enough. Everyone needs an opportunity to get their breath back.
Just looking at the Tigers list, Doom, they're tall. You know, Benny Griffiths goes under, then you've got Tommy Derricks, he's a big body. You'd hope Dylan Grimes is a big loss. Dylan Grimes is a really class act, so he's a player. Miller and Moore are going to make space on their list by retiring. And Ty Vickery, whether he can get to the level they expect.
Edwards finds a way where others couldn't, and he snaps a lovely goal for the Tigers.
Mzungu looks like he's coming off cradling a shoulder here. Just think about Jack Revolt that I've noticed. And now Luke McFarlane is a junior champion 400-metre runner, so he's an exceptional athlete for a big fellow. But every time, you know, when the ball gets springboarded and it gets turned over somewhere in the midfield or on half-back for the Tigers, and it's a foot race to make position into the forward line, Jack Revolt has beaten his opponent McFarlane to the drop of that ball no times. So when the ball gets turned over and comes into the forward line quickly, and it's a surprise entrance, Revolt's inability to outrun, we're looking at Mzungu on screen there, outrun McFarlane. He has not beaten him on that surprise lead once for the day. And that should be some weaponry for a forward.
Bradley handballs it off to De Boer. Think their way through this one. Deep for Fife, who's having a run up forward. And that's a good spoil from Helbig. It's over the line and out of bounds. Only 5 times of the 41 times Richmond have taken it out of their defensive 50 have they got it into the forward 50. So the wall that Fremantle create.
Well, they're the #1 in the comp for stopping that. And as we said, over the last 6 weeks, they've averaged 65 points against. Richmond are sitting on 66. It's amazing how the averages work out each week.
Valentine got ambitious there with the kick.
I think the other thing too, if you take Newman and Basher Hooley out, and Basher hasn't had a lot of the ball today, their kicking ability through the personnel back there is not great anyway. So if you can pressure it and zone off down the ground, when they've got to make decisions, they make the wrong decisions, and that puts pressure on their kicking styles.
Martin just tried to get it out of there. Ibbotson trying to paddle it with O'Hanlon. It's back towards the boundary line. O'Hanlon comes up with it, and then what do I do? Over to Dustin Martin. McGuan. Good tackling.
That's dropping the ball.
Yeah, it is dropping the ball. And that's what's been paid. Now they know that. De Boer will have it at the intersection of the 50.
You
The
can just
boundary.
pop it to Sanderlands here, and those size 19 feet, there's a bit of weight when they swing through. He could kick it from 50. Turn around, Sandy. He's just sneaked out
Right on the arc. There he is.
I think they've put Pavlich out to pasture for today, haven't they? De Boer sits it up to the top of the square, so they're without their main strike power down there. It showed there. Thumped away to Martin. Measures off the pass for Edwards. A little dodgy with a handball. Watch and go scrambling back after it.
Just those lesser lights. They've really had a good year this year, Richmond. They could have won another 4 games. I think the number of games under a goal.
5
games.
5 single-figure margin losses.
So they could have, but I still think under pressure, those lesser lights, skill levels and decision-making isn't good enough. Like that.
Jacko.
Well, I don't know. What are you doing there, Doom?
Jacko was out, and then he decided to go back in and find the tackling pressure.
A comedy of errors there. Grigg, and they find a way out, the Tigers here. And they should score a goal.
Ivan's going to get it to him, Robin.
Nas just gave McFarlane a look in.
Please.
And McFarlane happy to take it and run. And they can power away now. Barlow, next off the line, a careful kick for Main. Couldn't take it. Want to make the going a little more tougher. Just keep it moving is the mantra. Pearce, happy to go backwards first. Eventually into Mundy's safe hands. He takes the mark with 1:34 on the clock. A little bit of unnecessary winding down of the clock here as you see the next 2 weeks ahead for Fremantle. September is looking likely. They can beat North Melbourne, they'll make it. You think they would beat Melbourne okay. They're in prime position now. Spur, they're going to see off the last minute here. Richmond have got Essendon and Port Adelaide. It's academic for them.
They're going to get it back again. Luke won't want to kick down the line.
No.
Jack's not going to chase that all that hard.
So it's going to finish in a pretty lame manner here. Sun in the eyes of for McPhee.
Yeah, they're just plumping up their fantasy footy marks here.
Yeah.
Mundy's out on the wing. And he was out on the wing by himself for a while.
That Barlow, just his efficiency rate at times lets him down. He's at 76% today. One thing about it, I love it because I think he's a real footballer, and he's not super quick. He can sell the dummy. He knows how to find space, but just doesn't. Well, that's a free kick against him.
He's paid the free kick rather than the mark and late charge, which would be 50.
So Hanlon likely to have the last kick in anger here at Patersons Stadium. He'll be after the siren or on the siren, you would suspect. Started as the sub. Margin is 28 points. As it stands, O'Hanlon comes in. Not a bad kick from the Tiger. He's put it through. He's kicked the goal, but there's not a lot of joy for Richmond. It could be a purple September yet. Matthew Pavlich, a tough day for him physically, but he soldiered on, kicked 3 very important goals. Fremantle get the job done, and they are in the 8.
Matty Pavlich, that's a story there. Limped off, hobbled back onto the ground there to shake hands with his opponents. He received as much time under massage as he was out on the ground. Well, not really, but extraordinary amount there. Hayden Ballantyne, very good game from him, professional, good output.
24 disposals, 3 goals for Hayden Ballantyne's term.
Yeah, I like the way he went about it.
The big story, though, was the big man himself. Sandilands back as the last-minute replacement, and he's down with Jack after a huge game.
Thanks very much, Anthony. He had 18 possessions, 33 hit-outs, 9 clearances, mate. We saw the 2 teams warm up before the game. You weren't out there, and then you ran through the banner. What happened?
Griff pulled out really late. I think he hurt himself in the warm-up, so I did the warm-up in the room and got the call up about a couple of minutes before the game started.
Tell us what goes through your mindset. You weren't playing, you did the warm-up inside, you're preparing for Fremantle tomorrow, and then we see Ross Lyon giving you instructions. You're out there, you've got to play. Yeah,
it's not a bad way to come back. You don't have to think about the game too much, and you just go out and play with instinct, so that's sort of what we did.
You must have been happy with your input today, 18 touches as I mentioned, but I guess your centre work was fantastic, 9 clearances.
Yeah, look, it's just good to be back out with the boys. I mean, it's been out for 10 weeks and you miss, when you're sitting on the sidelines watching the boys, it's hard to watch, so it's just good to be back out there.
Aaron, you find yourself in the 8 now, and for yourself, you've got 2 more games so you can get some match fitness. This team, tell us, I guess the last 8 weeks have been impressive. You obviously want to make a statement now.
Yeah, look, the guys are just giving great effort, and we're starting to put 4 quarters together, so we know we've got 2 massive weeks ahead of us, and we'll see what happens.
Mate, welcome back. I think the fans are happy to have you back.
Thanks, mate.
Well, what a bonus for them to get Aaron Sandilands through the game.
Oh, massive. That, to not thinking he was going to play, to getting through the game. He's had an impact on the game. They kept Richmond to 72 points, which is just over their normal 65.
Yep.
You do that in finals. You win most finals too, Dan.
No doubt. I thought Richmond were valiant. They lost Griffiths. That hurt their structure, but they came back pretty strong.
Fremantle win by 22 points over Richmond, and they are looking good for a finals berth.